The Gratitude Revolution, Turning Pain into Power. Welcome to this special episode of the BlackCEO Podcast. Today we're diving deep into a topic that has the power to transform lives, reshape perspectives, and quite literally change the world. We're talking about gratitude, but not in the way you might expect. I have the incredible privilege of sharing insights from my recent interview with Kissie Pinkston, a woman whose story will challenge everything you thought you knew about resilience, healing, and the human spirit. Kissie isn't just a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. She's a warrior, a beacon of hope, and a living testament to the transformative power of gratitude. Now, I know what you're thinking. Gratitude in the face of such profound trauma? It seems impossible, perhaps even offensive. But that's exactly why Kissie's message is so powerful, so disruptive, and so desperately needed in our world today. Kissie Pinkston isn't just sharing a personal story of triumph over adversity. She's offering us a radical new paradigm for dealing with life's challenges, big and small. Her journey from victim to victor, from broken to whole, is nothing short of revolutionary. And the tool she used to get there? Gratitude. But before we dive in, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. Child molestation is a topic that makes most of us squirm. It's a subject we'd rather push to the darkest corners of our minds, let alone discuss openly. But it's precisely this silence that allows such atrocities to continue. Kissie's bravery in sharing her story shatters this silence. And in doing so, she's not only healing herself, but offering a lifeline to countless others who have suffered similar traumas. So, buckle up, my friends. We're about to embark on a journey that will challenge your preconceptions, stir your emotions, and quite possibly change the way you approach life itself. Kissie's story begins in a place of darkness that most of us can scarcely imagine. As a child, she endured sexual abuse at the hands of those who should have protected her. The trauma she experienced was profound, leaving scars that ran deep into her psyche. But here's where Kissie's story takes an unexpected turn. Instead of allowing bitterness and resentment to consume her, Kissie made a radical choice. She chose gratitude. Now, let's be clear. This wasn't a quick or easy decision. It wasn't a matter of slapping a smiley face sticker over a gaping wound. It was a journey, a daily practice that slowly but surely began to reshape her perspective on life. Kissie shared with me that her first step towards healing was acknowledging the pain. She didn't try to minimize or ignore what had happened to her. Instead, she faced it head on. This act of confronting her trauma was in itself an act of courage. But it was what she did next that truly set her on the path to transformation. She began to look for reasons to be grateful, even in the midst of her pain. At first, these were small things. The warmth of the sun on her face, a kind word from a stranger, the taste of her favorite food. But as she practiced this gratitude, something remarkable began to happen. The more she focused on what she was grateful for, the more reasons she found to be grateful. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, come on, how can being thankful for a cup of coffee possibly help someone heal from such severe trauma? And you're right to be skeptical. But here's the thing. This practice of gratitude didn't erase Kissie's trauma or make her forget what had happened. Instead, it gave her a new lens through which to view her experiences and her life. Kissie explained to me that gratitude became her superpower, a tool that allowed her to reclaim control over her narrative and her future. It was like she had discovered a secret passage out of the dungeon of her past, a way to climb towards the light even when the darkness seemed all-consuming. One of the most powerful moments in our conversation was when Kissie shared how she even found gratitude for the challenges she had faced. These experiences, she told me, as horrible as they were, have made me who I am today. They've given me strength I never knew I had, empathy for others who are suffering, and a purpose to help those who have been through similar traumas. Now let that sink in for a moment. Imagine being able to look at the worst thing that ever happened to you and find something to be grateful for. It's mind-bending, isn't it? It challenges everything we think we know about trauma and healing. This perspective shift is nothing short of revolutionary. It challenges us to consider, what if the very things that cause us pain could also be sources of growth and strength? What if, instead of asking, why me, we ask, what can I learn from this? Now, I want to be crystal clear here. This isn't about minimizing trauma or suggesting that we should be thankful for abuse. It's not about denying the reality of pain or the need for justice. It's about recognizing our power to shape our response to life's challenges, no matter how severe they may be. Kissie's journey teaches us that gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice for when things are going well. It's not about posting inspirational quotes on Instagram or keeping a journal that gathers dust on your nightstand. No, gratitude, as Kissie practices it, is a powerful tool for resilience, a way to find light even in the darkest of times. It's about acknowledging the pain while also recognizing our capacity to grow and heal. As I listened to Kissie share her story, I was struck by how her gratitude practice had ripple effects far beyond her own healing. By choosing gratitude, she not only transformed her own life, but also became a source of hope and inspiration for others. Kissie now works as an advocate for survivors of sexual abuse, using her story to break the silence around this issue and to help others find their path to healing. She's living proof that our past doesn't have to define our future, that we have the power to rewrite our stories. But here's the thing, Kissie's message isn't just for survivors of trauma. It's for all of us. Because the truth is, we all face challenges in life. We all have moments of pain, disappointment, and loss. And while our experiences may differ in scale, the principle remains the same. Gratitude has the power to transform our perspective, and in doing so, transform our lives. So, how can we apply Kissie's lessons in our own lives? How can we cultivate a practice of gratitude, especially when things are tough? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to give you a crash course in Gratitude 101. First, start small. Like Kissie, begin by acknowledging the little things you're grateful for each day. It could be as simple as a good cup of coffee in the morning or a text from a friend. The key is consistency. Make it a daily practice to identify at least 3 things you're grateful for. And no, scrolling through your phone and hitting like on your friend's post doesn't count. I'm talking about real intentional gratitude here. Second, reframe your challenges. When you face a difficulty, try to find something in the situation to be grateful for. Maybe it's an opportunity to learn, to grow stronger, or to develop empathy. This doesn't mean ignoring the pain or difficulty, but rather finding a silver lining that can help you move forward. It's like being a detective, but instead of looking for clues to solve a crime, you're searching for reasons to be thankful in the midst of your struggles. Third, express your gratitude, share it with others, write it down, speak it out loud. The act of expressing gratitude amplifies its effects, both for you and for those around you. It's like turning up the volume on the positive aspects of your life. And trust me, the world could use a little more positivity turned up to 11. Fourth, use gratitude as a tool for perspective. When you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck, take a moment to list the things you're grateful for. This simple act can help shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right in your life. It's like hitting the reset button on your mental state. Lastly, be patient with yourself. Cultivating a gratitude practice, especially in the face of significant challenges, takes time. It's okay to have days when it's harder to find things to be grateful for. The important thing is to keep trying, to keep coming back to gratitude. It's a muscle you're building. And like any workout, it gets easier with practice. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, this all sounds great in theory, but does it really work in practice? Well, let me share a few more stories that Kissie told me, stories that illustrate the profound impact of gratitude in real life situations. Kissie told me about a woman she worked with. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah had been in an abusive relationship for years and had finally found the courage to leave, but she was struggling with feelings of worthlessness and fear. Kissie introduced her to the practice of gratitude, encouraging her to find 3 things to be thankful for each day. At first, Sarah struggled. How could she be grateful when her life felt like it was in shambles? But slowly, she began to notice things. She was grateful for the shelter that had taken her in. She was thankful for the social worker who believed in her. She appreciated the taste of her favorite meal. As Sarah continued this practice, something remarkable happened. Her confidence began to grow. She started to see herself as strong and resilient rather than as a victim. She began to make plans for her future, to dream again. The gratitude practice didn't erase the trauma she had experienced, but it gave her a tool to move forward, to reclaim her life. Then there's the story of Mike, a veteran struggling with PTSD. Mike had seen things in combat that haunted him. that made it hard for him to find joy in everyday life, Kissie introduced him to the idea of gratitude, but with a twist. She encouraged him to be grateful not just for the good things in his life, but also for the challenges he had overcome. Mike started by being grateful for his physical strength, for the training that had kept him alive. He expressed thanks for the bonds he had formed with his fellow soldiers. As he continued this practice, he began to see his experiences in a new light. Yes, they were traumatic, but they had also made him resilient, compassionate, and deeply appreciative of peace. Over time, Mike's nightmares became less frequent. He found it easier to connect with his family and friends. The gratitude practice didn't cure his PTSD, but it gave him a powerful tool to manage his symptoms and find meaning in his experiences. These stories illustrate a crucial point. Gratitude isn't about denying the reality of our pain or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to focus our attention, about finding the light even in the darkest situations. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds too good to be true. Surely it can't be that simple. And you're right, it's not simple. It's a practice, a daily choice, a way of approaching life that requires commitment and effort. But the results, as Kissie and countless others have discovered, can be truly transformative. So, as we near the end of our time together, I want to circle back to Kissie's story. Her journey from trauma to triumph is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. It shows us that even in our darkest moments, we have the capacity to choose how we respond to our circumstances. Kissie's message challenges us to consider, what if gratitude isn't just a response to good things happening in our lives, but a way of approaching life itself? What if it's not about waiting for things to be perfect before we can be grateful, but about using gratitude as a tool to navigate life's imperfections? Her story invites us to see gratitude not as a passive emotion, but as an active choice. A choice that has the power to heal, to transform, and to inspire. It's a choice that says, despite everything, I choose to focus on what's good, what's possible, what's worth fighting for. In a world that often feels divided and dark, Kissie's message of gratitude shines like a beacon of hope. It reminds us that no matter what we've been through, no matter what challenges we face, we always have the power to choose our response. We have the power to choose gratitude. So as we conclude this episode, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next week, commit to a daily gratitude practice. Each day, identify 3 things you are grateful for. They can be big or small, profound or simple. The important thing is to do it consistently. And here's the real challenge. On at least one of those days, try to find something to be grateful for in a situation that's difficult or challenging. It doesn't have to be a major trauma like what Kissie faced. It could be a stressful work situation, a disagreement with a friend, or a personal setback. Whatever it is, see if you can find even a small glimmer of gratitude within it. As you do this, pay attention to how it affects your mood, your outlook, and your interactions with others. You might be surprised at how this simple practice begins to shift your perspective. Remember, gratitude isn't about ignoring the difficulties in life. It's about choosing where to focus our attention. It's about recognizing that even in our darkest moments, there is still light to be found if we're willing to look for it. Kissie Pinkston's story is a powerful reminder that our past experiences, no matter how painful, don't have to define our future. We have the power to rewrite our narratives, to find meaning in our struggles, and to use our challenges as stepping stones to growth and transformation. So I leave you with this question. What would your life look like if you approached each day, each challenge, each interaction with a spirit of gratitude? How might it change your relationships, your work, your sense of purpose? The power to transform your life through gratitude is in your hands. Will you choose to use it? This isn't just about feeling good or thinking positive thoughts. This is about revolutionizing the way we approach life's challenges. It's about building resilience, fostering empathy, and creating a ripple effect of positivity that can change not just our own lives, but the lives of those around us. Imagine a world where gratitude was our default response to life's ups and downs. Imagine how that might change our interactions, our communities, our societies. It's not just a nice idea. It's a powerful tool for personal and social transformation. So I challenge you, be a gratitude revolutionary. Start with yourself, but don't stop there. Share this message with others. Practice gratitude in your relationships, in your workplace, in your community. Be the change you want to see in the world. Remember, every great movement starts with a single step. Your gratitude practice, however small it might seem, has the power to create waves of positive change. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. As Kissie Pinkston has shown us, gratitude has the power to turn victims into victors, to transform pain into purpose. It's a choice we can make every day, a superpower we all possess. So let's make that choice. Let's harness that power. Let's start a gratitude revolution. Because when we change our perspective, we change our lives. And when we change our lives, we change the world. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. Now go out there and spread the power of gratitude. The world is waiting for your light to shine.